Hi there, I'm Heimir Hallgrímsson. I'm delighted to be here, and I hope I will see you in Aviva Stadium in September when we face England.
Finally, after 231 days, we have a new manager. The wait is over, folks. Heimir Hallgrímsson, I'm butchered that already. The dentist from Iceland takes over from Stephen Kenny, and unlike John O'Shea, he's not a temporary filling. I'm David Dunn. This is Martin Prendergast. This is Lansdowne Roar. We are live, Martin, as we promised. We want to hear from the fans. We want to hear. Let me turn that crap off for a start. There we go. We are live, and we want to hear from you. Ireland have a brand new manager. Tell us what you think about it. If you haven't watched Lansdowne Roar live before, welcome, first of all, because I know we get a lot of new viewers on this. How it works is we talk about stuff, you hopefully listen, you comment, and then we chat. We read out your comments. We want you to get involved. We want you to have your say. This is Irish football's most interactive podcast. Martin, how are you doing?
Yeah, the day we were waiting for has arrived, Dave, at last. I mean, this is, look at you raising a pint to it. Fair play.
Guinness Zero, by the way.
Responsibly, yeah. There are other brands available. We don't have a sponsor, but on
we don't.
We would sponsor.
If you want to sponsor us, Guinness Zero.
Guinness, yeah. Or the real Guinness. I don't mind. Wow. Yeah, I mean, the day, and it just caught us all by surprise, didn't it? This, we were all kind of gearing up to other things that were happening during the day in life, and then there was a little bit of a who John Fallon kind of put it out first, didn't he? That wow, it's happening kind of thing. And I think I posted about white smoke. That was the kind of joke I went with, as if it was a PayPal announcement. And then the name was revealed, and the FAI got out there with it, and wow. I mean, a lot of people's reactions very, very strange.
Well,
yeah, it's very mixed, and we do want to hear from the listeners and viewers because it has, I think, divided. There's a lot of stuff to think about on this, Dave. Really, I mean, first of all, about the manager, who he is, where he's come from, his experience. Does he fit in with what the FAI want? We've also got about the FAI and their appointment. Is this the person they were talking about in April? And also, I think a lot of people are very sympathetic to, other candidates. Now, meaning, I would say John O'Shea. I think people are thinking, where's he lying this now on, and how the FAI have treated him has come home a little bit.
We'll get into all that. We're gonna have a little look-see at our brand new manager, some fantastic stats sent out to me. Then we're going to have a chat about it, Martin, and then we're going to hear from the Roar faithful, from the fans. See the comments coming in. As always, have your say, leave a comment, get involved. We are the voice of the fans. We are Irish football's most interactive podcast. We're going to get to those. Martin, are you ready for some wonderful stats?
Yes.
They're actually not stats. They're facts. Sorry. James Agnew, who has written a fantastic article about this over at lansdowneroar.ie, by the way. Actually, just before a little plug, I got so excited, Martin, that I didn't mention our social medias. If you scan that QR code, you head over to a Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter account. You can also head over to a Facebook, unless you're watching on Facebook, of course, and lansdowneroar.ie, where you can read James Agnew's fantastic article. And he tells you everything you need to know about our new manager, Heimir Hallgrímsson. We're going to come up with a nickname. We're Irish. That's what we do. So here he is. These are stats sent over to me from the wonderful James Agnew. Do read his stuff over there on lansdowneroar.ie. Well, he was born on the 10th of June, 1967. That is our manager. He's 57 years old. He's a qualified dentist. He spent his entire playing career in Iceland. Has coached women's and men's football. In October 2011, became an assistant coach of Iceland alongside Lars Lagerbäck, who was head coach. Iceland, of course, they reached the playoffs of qualification for the 2014 World Cup, but lost against Croatia, who I didn't get the final of that one. Anyway, never mind. That same year, Lagerbäck and Hallgrímsson signed new contracts, this time as joint coaches. They famously steered Iceland to Euro 2016 and knocked out England. Became the sole head coach of Iceland following Euro 26, with Lagerbäck leaving to become manager of Norway. He achieved Iceland's highest ever FIFA World ranking, that's 18th. By the way, Ireland is 6th. Qualified Iceland for the first ever World Cup in 2018 and resigned after failing to qualify from the group stage. 2018, he was hired as coach of Qatari club Al Arabi, and September 2022 was appointed Jamaican coach and left recently after a very poor Copa America. And now he's here. He's the Republic of Ireland manager. We got a few quotes here. Here's what the manager had to say. It's an honour to be appointed head coach of the Ireland senior men's team. Ireland is rightly proud, a proud footballing nation which has consistently produced talented players and enjoyed many memorable moments at major international tournaments. We have a young and exciting team that has genuine potential. I'm looking forward to working closely with the players to help coach and guide them towards improved performances and results, ensuring we qualify and compete at major tournaments on a regular basis. We have important and exciting games coming up in the UEFA Nations League later this year and a massive FIFA World Cup qualification campaign coming up next year. Of course, England at home, September 7 is his first game in charge. Finally, I am also looking forward to getting to know the people of Ireland and in particular the wonderful fans of Irish football. It's my responsibility to coach, prepare and develop our team as best as possible to deliver results on the pitch and to make our supporters happy and proud. Well, Martin, you talked about initial reactions. I'm going to come out and be honest. My initial reaction was probably like a lot of people went, really? This guy? That was my initial reaction. I thought, Jesus. But then I kind of thought about it a bit more, and I think a lot of people were like, "Who's this guy?" And why haven't we got someone? Why haven't we got like a Pep Guardiola, or we're Ireland? And then I think reality sort of sank in a bit, and you read up a bit more, you hear a bit more, you talk to people about it. He's at our level, really, isn't he? I think.
Yeah, he's certainly at our level. And it's been interesting seeing like what pundits on RTE have said since, and I'm sure we'll go on and discuss a little bit of what their kind of first initial views are. I mean, we're going to see a lot more over the next few days, the media coverage of it, the unveilings tomorrow. We'll see a lot more. We'll hear from him. We'll hear from Mark Canham, hopefully. Today was just spreading the news. And was getting general feedback, I suppose, of it. But yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, like most Irish fans, I think a lot of them are thinking, who is this guy? Kind of forgetting that he was involved in 2016. You do have to kind of do your homework and look into him and his record and see where he was managing recently. I don't think he was really even in the betting on this. And we've been speculating using that as a kind of benchmark for 231
Came out of nowhere,
days,
didn't it? Came out of nowhere.
231 days we've been looking at the markets and checking everything out and hearing this and that. And yeah, I mean, even the time frame, I think I was quite vocal when the Welsh announced Craig Bellamy after 17 days the other day, posted on our social media accounts that, they seem to have got their house in order. And I think I was asking for media pressure to say, we want to know where we are with where we are now, because the Euros, let's be honest, they're coming to an end. 4 teams were in it. So contractually, you could have been approaching managers who, if they were in the mindset of the FAI at that time and they're coming out of contracts or whatever, you could kind of put the feelers out. For example, Willy Sagnol. So, other managers who are probably eligible or as candidates, you're probably approaching them as well. But they're all going to be coming back to pre-seasons with their respective clubs if they're in a job or coaching jobs. So it just has come completely out of left field. And like I said, the most kind of different kind of groups I'm in of probably different kind of demographics, to be honest. So, ourselves, the lads are quite knowledgeable in our writers group. Very knowledgeable, of course. But, they knew him. They knew of his kind of credentials. Whereas I would say a lot of Irish supporters in another group I'm with were going, what's this about? Not happy really.
Well,
about
they're quite
thinking,
optimistic about it, aren't they? I'm in 2 WhatsApp groups, and I'm going to get slaughtered for this. But one was very like, Jesus. And, they're like, nah, I'm not really happy with this. But then that's not the writers group. The writers group that we're in, the Lansdowne Raw writers group, were quite happy about it. They were quite, no, this guy, he ticks a lot of boxes. Nick on the Green Machine, he actually touched on it, didn't he? A few days ago, he actually came out and said, no, this guy, put a few quid on him if you can. To be fair to Nick, he said that. So the lads they're quite optimistic about it. How do you feel about it, Martin? Are you happy with it?
I've seen a good. I'm avoiding the question here, aren't I? And my answer. I saw a
Yeah.
good poll. I mean, we asked people to vote yes and no. Were they happy with it? I see Why Big put I'm on the fence, and overwhelmingly the view of Why Big on their social medias was on the fence really. I'd like to hear more from him tomorrow. I want to hear from Mark Canham really. Look, it's happened now, and as you know, I'm the most optimistic person involved in the Lansdowne Raw. I'll just be getting behind the manager, and I'm interested to see a lot of other things with it now. I mean, I wouldn't have had any problem with John O'Shea getting it if they wanted to go down this. I think this is a big, it's a big kind of leap of faith from Mark Canham in that this guy is going to be part of his whole pathway thing. I've had reservations on this in the past. I think it's a massive investment in one person's idealism for Irish football. We've been there before with the 2 Dutch lads, and now this guy's done the pathway, and now this.
Should we hear what he has to say?
As the manager. Yeah.
Should we hear? Let's hear what Mark Canham had to say. Of course, now Mark Canham will be present tomorrow at the unveiling. That's Thursday at Abbottstown. Be David Carell. Sorry, I'm not that personal with him. David Carell, Mark Canham, and Heimir will be there at a press conference, which I can't wait for. And we'll be talking about that on Friday. We'll have another episode of Lansdowne Roar. Mark and I will be talking about that at greater detail. But of course, today's episode is about hearing what you have to say, what the fans have to say. But anyway, this is what Canham had to say. We are thrilled to announce Heimir as our new coach. Earlier this year, we identified Heimir as our number 1 candidate. His capabilities and experience aligned with our criteria. I want to get back to that. Not only does Heimir have significant experience at international level with 2 different countries, but crucially, he also has a track record of qualifying for major international tournaments and taking teams up in the FIFA World Rankings. It was also important for us that we recruited a head coach who's interested in the overall development of football in Ireland, as outlined in the FEI's Football Pathways Plan, and in particular, someone who's interested in the development of our underage international teams, both of which Heimir is usually passionate about. I also want to thank and pay tribute to your mate, Martin. No, he hasn't said that. I've added that bit in. But John O'Shea and his staff who have guided the team through recent friendly internationals, preparing the team impeccably, creating a brilliant environment for the players and achieving positive results on the pitch. Very interesting comment he says there. Earlier this year, we identified Heimir as our number 1 candidate whose capabilities and experience aligned with our criteria. Now, he had an in-house interview Heimir did with the FEI. It's on Twitter there, and he was asked, when were you approached about this? And he sort of very quickly went, just earlier on. Now, but I think we'll find out a bit more about that tomorrow. I'm sure the press pack over in Dublin tomorrow. I won't be there, sadly, myself, too short notice. But I imagine they're going to really hammer home on that when were you approached, because obviously we were promised a manager in February for the Nations League draw. We didn't have one in March. Then we were promised one in early April, and then by late April he told us the process is not complete. And now all of a sudden we've kind of got a manager out of nowhere, which is kind of mad.
We have and we haven't though, because he was involved with Jamaica at Copa America, so that would be the contractual answer they're going to give. He was
but why? But then, of course, why would you give any form of time frame on it then?
No, yeah, exactly. So I get your point on that. But yeah, those are the questions that need to be answered, asked and answered. I think there will be a lot of scrutiny of Mark Canham on this, and again, I think they messed up the FAI by giving time frames and be very coy in the whole recruitment process. But at the same time, then giving the dates went against that, and it put them under pressure to deliver to those dates. And they didn't need to necessarily do that at all.
Like for example, I'm just looking here at the Copa America. Sorry. Give me 2 seconds. You keep talking.
There's a bit of a conspiracy theory on this though. This recruitment of him, and saying, when was he there? Because like Willie Sagnol, he was asked the other day about Georgia and would he be still involved with them going forward, and he answered the stock answer within the tournament as the manager of a team within the tournament, said looking forward to working with the association going forward, or paraphrasing that. Same question was asked quite a while ago as well. I've seen this documented on Twitter and stuff. That Heimir was asked about, working with Jamaica or targeting that World Cup in 2026, and said he was looking forward to kind of being part of that, and this is what he was working towards. And now he's kind of been the perception I've seen of Didi Hamann was saying on RT tonight is that they've got a great chance of qualifying for that World Cup, Jamaica, and he's actually given that up to come and try and qualify with Ireland. Is the understanding of that? So there's going to be a lot of questions, rightly so, a lot of scrutiny on the process still, because I think it is an opportunity for the media to kind of have a kind of word with Mark Canham and understand what he's said in the flesh, basically. And I think it's actually quite telling. I think if David Carell was there as well, our interim CEO, I'll be interested to see his performance in this as well. He's obviously been a little bit to the forefront this week on the kind of obviously the unfortunate revelations of what's gone on in the women's game over the years, which I think was really well done by the RTE and obviously the investigative journalism of Mark Tighe. But I think what's really, really good is, I want to see his performance as well now, because again, we are still in a bit of a mess as an association. We've now got the manager in place. We've trusted Mark Canham on his pathway, and is he going to deliver that? Which was also mentioned in the little unveiling video that Kieran Crowley did quite well. I thought it was quite nice to see that.
That was quite good,
to hear from, we'll come on to that in a minute of how he presented himself. And I mean, people are praising the difference of actually being able to speak to camera and being quite articulate, which is a bit of a refreshing change, I suppose. That's quite bitchy, isn't it, Dave? But I think we've got to see David Carell now come to the front and as possibly our full-time CEO, and how he's going to work within the association. We need to kind of know. And look, let's not forget. Sorry, David Sadler was putting pressure. Richard Sadler was putting on a lot of pressure recently on the FAI, saying heads have got to roll over this. It's not good enough. They've actually acted now. They've done the appointment. But the board are definitely going to be under scrutiny as well. But up front tomorrow is going to be David Carell and Mark Canham, and they're going to be asked the questions. And how they handle themselves is going to be interesting.
I was just in a bit of revision there on Jamaica. If anyone out there is watching, I'm trying to find, I think Jamaica were they invited to the Copa America. Yeah. So where's he getting this from? If this guy was the first name on the list this year and he couldn't get him, then why put a time frame on it? Why say, oh yeah, we're going to announce it by April, when you clearly couldn't? And then when you say the process is not complete,
but I don't think he was the first choice.
I don't think
he's not the first choice, but he does fit. Probably is one of the candidates. They probably had 4 or 5 thinking that these people do fit it. Like Willie Salinio, I think might have fitted it. Obviously, Lee Carsley, I still think was the first choice. That's not happened. This guy does fit it. Working with these sizes of small nations, the development of players, he kind of went into that a little bit today. I thought it was quite nice the way they kind of, I thought it was quite good how they done the little chat today with the FAI in-house on, talking about John O'Shea and how he went back to basics and how they got the structure in place. And it's nice to read comments like that, because you think of the 4 games, the FAI are going to get a lot of scathing criticism, and probably rightly so, because we've not allowed this guy now to prepare for England. That's a big test.
Well, that's the thing.
5 days of appointment.
In Cuppy, European champions, now they're in the final, of course, today. I see some of the comments coming in. We'll talk about that. In fact, this episode was going to be about England possibly, could you imagine the episode? It would have been about England, going to the Euro final. But of course, the FAI drop a grenade on us, and there you go. Look, I mean, I can't wait for the press conference tomorrow. I think they're going to get a bit hammered. I think Canham really has to. He's got a hell of a task on his hands tomorrow, because now what way is he going to try to spin it? Is he going to come out and say, look, when I say he was the first person, I mean actually when the process, we didn't get who we went after, the first process, the whole April thing, and then we basically we start again, and actually when the second process came about, this guy was number 1 on the list.
They've got to carefully manage that press conference tomorrow. What I mean is, Mark Canham's got to come out straight away and have the stock answer, and then just refer to that and say this is what it is, and let the lads do their job and scrutinize that.
Yeah, but I think
say, look, no, this is how it was, and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
because, but again, we got to remember, Mr. Positivity, Heimer's going to be sitting there, isn't he? And he's going to be thinking, Jesus, like what is this association I've got involved with when I just took the job?
That's the
That's what they've got to
association's
spin
fault.
it as the positive. Yeah, I know, but they've got
That's
to
the
spin it as
FAI's
the
fault.
positivity of the new
The press
manager.
have to ask the questions, Martin. It's
They
that's the
do, but I
association's
wonder.
fault.
I know that, but I think it's gonna. You don't want it to. They won't want it to detract those questions to detract from. Let's talk about football.
Well,
Let's talk about the new manager
well,
and
you
what his
see, the
plans are.
thing
They
is,
have to
though,
be asked.
yeah, but this is the first time that Mark Canham has faced the press.
Yeah.
Since that announcement was made, that the process is complete. I could be mistaken on that, but as far as I'm aware, it's the first time. Yeah, it is. Whose fault is that? That is Mark Canham's fault. He should have come out. He should have faced the press conference, got that out of the way. He got absolutely taken it on the chin, and then when you do unveil a manager such as Heimir tomorrow, then those questions don't get asked because you've already done that. You've taken it on the chin. You've got absolutely roasted by the press. Absolutely deserving because you've made your own bed, and then you have a kind of a clean start when a new guy comes in. But now tomorrow, because of this guy, you're going to have questions about that. That's inevitable, and the press should ask those questions. I think they're very valid questions.
They should, but it's interesting that the FAI are kind of facing that head on. The fact they're going to have Mark Canham there, it allows the press to ask the questions.
Well, he's probably going to gloat
that bit. Well, he has to handle that bit. Yeah. But then
he's probably going to sit there and go, "Look,
people are going to look and go, well, can you explain this?" And that's what
rightly so.
The fans are doing that. Well, I've no problem with it. But the fans are going to be doing that now. Going, hang on, how can this be the first option when he was in this job?
And just one last touch on it, and then we're going to get to the comments because they're coming in, and then we're going to get through as many comments as possible. See them coming in, guys. As always, if you're new to the program, welcome. If you're watching us on Republic of Ireland Player Tracker live, we don't have Connor on the show, but he's already commented. Had a few singers before we came on live. Yes, get involved. Have your say, get involved. Tell us what you think about the new manager. Are you happy with the manager? Do you think it's a bargain basement appointment? Are you happy with it? Do you think it's just what we need? Is it our level? Tell us what you think. We'll go through the comments. And if there's something else you want to talk about, ask us. By all means, we're here hopefully for the next hour and a bit. And we'll try and get through as many questions as possible. Keep them sensible to the, say what you want, but keep it sensible.
Sorry, I want to just. There's a question I want to ask Irish fans. Have you taken up the free game package if you're not a season ticket holder already? And do you think this announcement of the new manager has it been rushed?
Great question.
A little bit in the fact that they announced the other day that they've got 10,000 season ticket Nations League packages available still, and
Great
straight
question.
away, the new manager's come in and he's talking about, I'm looking forward to
10,000.
He's got the party lines there. I mean, we had elections recently, didn't we? And we were hearing all these politicians, but it was very political speak from the new manager straight away. And we know Stephen Kenny was kind of pushed towards ticket sales and so it's going to be great in front of a full house. We've already heard that from the new manager. I know that's party line. He has to try and push and promote the association ticket sales, but this has happened. It's not been a massive uptake on that Nations League package, the free game package. And straight away he's said, I'm looking forward to seeing you all on the 7th of September. So
I don't think
that we have to consider.
Maybe so, but I'll say this, Martin. If they think that's going to whet the appetite to buy those 10 games, that 3 game package, there it is. They're the trio deal. England and Greece in September, Finland in November. We spoke about it in a previous episode, Martin. I think it's more of an economical decision. You're forcing people to buy 3 games. Some people barely have enough money for the 1 game. It's different if you live in Dublin, but if you live down the country, you rely on trains, you rely on buses. If you don't have a car, if they think, my opinion is, if they think, look, this guy could be the best manager ever, it could work, and that's my opinion. And we're going to get to your opinions very shortly. My opinion is, I think it could work. I see where they're coming from, considering the cloth that they've had to cut accordingly. And the reason why they've had to cut that cloth accordingly is from mismanagement of the FAI. Years of mismanagement. And that's why we're in the situation we're in. So the FAI have to take responsibility there and the blame for that. But anyway, I think the 3 game package, should I think that's going to get people buying 3 game packages? I would be shocked. I would be shocked if he was given the 4 games, March and June, to show us we've got something going, and actually I like this guy. We've had a chance to warm up to him. Maybe then, but I think it's a misjudgment. It's a misfire or a misstep by the FAI. That's my take on it. Anything else, Mark, before we get to the comments, or?
No,
Anything else
I'm
you
ready
want
to
to say?
go straight in. No, not
Yeah.
really. Just a big birthday tomorrow. That's all, Dave.
Oh,
Not for me. Not for me.
Oh, I can feel the elbow in my ribs. That's right. Risk London is 40 years young tomorrow, Martin. Tell us a bit about that. Go on.
Yeah, very proud of the club. Obviously, 40 years been going strong, supporting. We'll kind of say within the club, every game is an away game for us. But yeah, started 1984 in a little pub, Prince of Wales Feathers in Warren Street. A few of us are going there tomorrow afternoon, evening to raise a glass to the club. Yeah, eventful 40 years, traveling around the world, lots of stories to tell. Of World Cups and Euros, and yeah, all started 40 years ago. So we've got a lot of things planned. Actually, we've got that tomorrow, of course. We've been honoured by the embassy in London as well, which is fantastic. On the 24th of September, and no, sorry, 24th of July. Jesus, I'm all over the place with dates. And then September the 21st, we've got our dinner dance in London in the Irish Centre in Camden. So lots of events, getting some big names along to support it as well. So yeah, very proud of the club. I'm the club chairman at the moment, so fantastic.
Yeah, you never mentioned that, Martin.
You're a very proud member of, well, because
I have a proud member. I mean, I'm a proud member.
Tickets and stuff like that. But yeah, look, I've got my bucket hat here with the new badges as well. So which were well designed, Dave. But yeah, like really proud of the club, and yeah, it's a big day for us tomorrow. So yeah, looking forward to it. But yeah,
Looking forward to that.
Obviously the FAI have doing a press conference, and I'm sure they'll wish us happy birthday. Maybe the new manager will sing happy birthday to us.
Yeah, I wouldn't count.
Or do a big clap. They might do the clap, mightn't they?
40 claps, yeah. Thunderclap. Oh, God, they're going to start doing that now, aren't they? In the singing section, they're going to try and do that and fail miserably because most people are going to go. Anyway, let's get into it. Right, so this is the comment section of the program. It's our first live one actually since the window last month. I have missed it, by the way. I'm so glad to be back live. And by the way, we are going to start doing live episodes every Sunday. Well, every Sunday we can anyway. So most Sundays, Martin and I will be live here talking about Irish football. And of course, you can catch us every Monday and Friday. We have a recorded episode. Most Mondays and Fridays anyway, and we'll be live on the Wednesday. And as I said, if you're new to the podcast, this is where we go into the comments. This is where we hear what you have to say. You can ask anything. You can agree with us, disagree with us, whatever you want to do. But we're going to get into it now.
Before we go into that, Dave, let's announce that we are obviously a limited production team. We don't have a producer. We don't filter these. We just read them. So yeah. And people have chats and they go off on tangents more than I do. So
we'll do our best.
So, yeah.
We'll do our best. So if I might read something out I'm not supposed to, I do apologize, but it's just me and a mug of coffee. Right, here we go. Sean Bon Jovi, how you doing, Sean, over on Twitter? Dental plan. But Lisa has braces, or Lisa needs braces. Dental plan. You remember the line?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Showing my age. I mean mine. I'm delighted with this appointment. Good man. I mean mine. Bit of positivity there. Stephen up Spain. England obviously facing Spain in the Euros this Sunday. Martin, I'm going to put you on the spot. Who do you want to win between England and Spain?
I want Spain to win, just with the rivalry, but I've no problem with England winning it at all, to be honest, because I'm going to give you the argument for that just very quickly. Is it just inspires Irish lads are watching that, kids growing up, they know all the household names of England. It's years and years on now from all the real rivalry with England, and that will inspire people to take up football in Ireland and support them, like the women have inspired. And I think that's just really important, and no problem with it. They're going to win one eventually. And we can always look back and say that I've seen actually someone just sent me a quick thing that, let's remember England should be kicked out of this. They're not actually in the EU. So, shouldn't be allowed to compete in it, which is such a good take.
Jesus. Yeah, we heard all this before 3 years ago when Irish Twitter went to meltdown. I'd like to see England do it. I've lived here for 13 years. You see a lot of Irish people, and I'm going to get a lot of stick for it. I don't really care. I've lived here for 13 years, and I'm more in common with England than I do with Spain. They go, oh, but the media is so arrogant. No, I don't think so. I thought they were having a pop at the England team actually, and rightly so. I think they're in the final, and they kind of jammed their way through. They probably played. I don't even think they played 90 minutes of good football through this whole tournament. And they did annoy me a bit, the England team. I thought the way they were going on was, they're a bit precious because, we've talked about previous episodes where previous England teams have got absolutely hammered. England managers got hammered. And I think they were a bit precious about that. And it kind of annoyed me a bit. And I thought they were going out because they were so bad for the tournament, but they've got to a final. It's the beauty and beast of tournament football, isn't it, Martin?
Yeah,
Knockout
and it's a
football.
final they can turn it on, and they've got
Yeah.
match winners, as they proved tonight, bringing him on, and he's scoring a fantastic
Great
goal.
goal.
Fantastic goal.
Yeah.
Love it. Like, as
Never a
football
penalty.
Coach, wasn't a penalty, no, but still, they got a bit of luck, and teams have to get lucky in these finals, and that's it. Yeah, England, jammy bastards. But I think, again, like you, Dave, have been brought up in England, and I've got a lot of English.
Never would have guessed that, Martin.
Family, and I wouldn't begrudge him having a moment. I think it would take a lot of pressure off the team if they do win one, and it will just develop football, and we will get the benefit of that in Ireland as well. Like people are talking all over the weekend how great GAA was on. They're not even selling out the stadiums there for their semi-finals. Their big day out, and I love the hurling. So, but it's not criticism of that. But still, we need to promote football, and sadly, Ireland are not performing. The FAI aren't performing as they should be as an association. So I think we've got to, in a way, piggyback on the back of England's success. And I think that we're very naive if we think that we don't live off the back of that a little bit of success, household names. The kids are wearing them shirts, Man City players, Foden and things like that. You are looking at that as inspirational. So it'll be sad to see Declan lift it, but it could happen.
I thought he made him laugh. He fecked up, didn't he, for the first? I'm trying not to curse. He fecked up for the first one, didn't he? Which I thought was hilarious. But there you go. We'll move it on. Graham Farrell again is certainly an interesting appointment, particularly as he has no chance to work with them until the England game in September. Massive handicap there. P. Ireland. John O'Shea must feel like Millhouse's dad when he got fired. How do you think John? Very quickly, Martin. How do you think John O'Shea?
I'm getting the vibe that he's not going to be in the backroom staff. I'm interested to see what they announce and ask about that tomorrow. I think John O'Shea, I'm gutted for him, to be honest. I think he did really, really well, settled the ship, and gave us a very good, steady hand there. I'd like him to go away now, get really good experience, a coaching job. And I'd also like to ask a question of the FAI as well. What is this within the pathway? Obviously we want Heimir to do very well, but who is the next person in line for it? Is it going to be they're going to recruit from within? Are they lining up John O'Shea, for example, in 4 or 5 years' time to kind of come in as that person to replace him when he's got the experience? So, yeah, I feel sorry for him though, because I think he's done a really good job, and I think that shouldn't be overlooked.
Okay, Nathan Fitzpatrick. Sorry, Iceland fans, the Viking clap is ours now. I think they can have it nice, to be fair. Connor, go to Dave. Sick of you already. Prendy carrying Asper. I think Connor needs to go to bed there. I think he's had a few lemonades. Connor, Stephen Ring. Got to be honest, when I first heard the announcement, I was annoyed and thought it was a joke. But the more the day has gone on, I'm okay with it. I'm a bit like that too, Stephen, to be honest. I must admit, at first, like, oh, Jesus, really? Then you think about it, you kind of go, this is where we're at. Okay, he got Iceland to the first World Cup. He helped get him to the Euros. He's done okay, I suppose. He gets the most. The only thing is, though, the style of football would probably be very defensive. I think he said he wants to go back to basics, and that's what he's going to do. He's going to go back to basics. So I expect a bit of Route 1 football. And, I think after the dearth of success that we've had over the last few years, the paucity of it really will probably take that for now. And then
we will be hard to beat.
But then people will inevitably get sick of that, and then the argument will be, we've got this player and that player, we should be playing better football, and then we'll see what happens. Graham Farrell, I popped a Budweiser, has a toast to the Viking. Is he Viking? I suppose they were run by Denmark, weren't they, till the 40s, Iceland. Adam Cabinet, a solid appointment. I don't understand the negativity. This is much better than a Houghton or Bruce. I heard earlier on a comment was made to me that Neil Lennon and Chris Coleman has a better CV than this guy. Would you agree, Martin?
Yeah, probably with more higher profile, without doubt, in these shores. And I did have a conversation with someone today, even back to John O'Shea point, was, John O'Shea probably will be quite pissed off thinking this guy isn't a name, and John O'Shea is ultimately like he is. If you go up Grafton Street tomorrow and you say this guy's name or John O'Shea's name, more people will know John O'Shea. Well, it's not just about the profile.
He doesn't have a name.
You are trusting the FAI have invested in this pathway, and this is a coach who's going to deliver on that ultimately.
Well, John O'Shea may be a name, but he's not as big as Heimir Hallgrímsson. Just saying.
There you go.
Wow, I'm coming out with the classics tonight, Martin. Stephen Ring, how long until the first Iceland clap in Lansdowne Road? I think it's a Viking clap, isn't it? Oh, the thunderclap. The thunderclap. I think that's what they call it. Yeah. Plenty of clap flying about. Vincent Osborne, is there any news of his backroom team to welcome the European champions to Lansdowne on September 7th? How you doing, Vincent? No, I think that will be announced tomorrow. I'd imagine that will be announced tomorrow. The press conference is, guys, just bear with me. The press conference will begin at 2 p.m. That is at Abbottstown tomorrow. Is it at Abbottstown tomorrow? No, sorry, that's the at Lansdowne Road tomorrow. My apologies.
Road, yeah.
At Lansdowne Road tomorrow.
Lansdowne Road.
Yeah, that's what I said.
We're hosting it. We're hosting it.
We're hosting it. Yes, live here in Lansdowne, and we will have. We will be Friday morning. We will have all the details from that, and we're going to have a little chat about that. So there you go, Vincent. John Buckley. Pretty sure many people. There you go. John Thomas Kavanagh could be our Arsene Wenger moment. Who knows? Adam Kavanagh, who knows? It could be a Jack Charlton moment. I remember when he first came in, people thought, who's this guy? You had the go home Union Jack. He lost his first game, and then, the rest is history. Although Jack did have a world-class team, to be fair, so who knows? Adam Kavanagh, also Jacob Ryan revealed as type 1 diabetic and as a new ambassador for Diabetes Ireland. Fair play to him. I did not know that, Adam.
I didn't see that. No.
Fantastic. Brilliant. It does affect a lot of people.
I did actually see Jacob Ryan was having some one-to-one kind of physio work in physical sessions with David Roach, who a former guest of the podcast, and doing very, very well, David. So brilliant to see him working with our high-profile Irish players and getting them ready for action.
Okay, there you go. I did not know that, Adam. That's fair play, I suppose. Unfortunate, but fair play. Cormac Murray seems very underwhelming appointment. Maybe it was best we could hope for, or maybe not given Hallgrímsson enough respect. Probably a little bit of. Yeah, I think Cormac is that. I think we lose the run of ourselves a bit, Irish fans, and I'm guilty of it. And we hype things up, we hype players up. I think we kind of build a bigger picture in our head than we should. And I think it's about our level where we're at. When you look, we always big ourselves up a bit, and that's fair enough. We're Irish; it's what we do, but. If you're on the outside in, you're kind of looking at going, well, you haven't qualified for anything. The last qualifying campaign was a disaster. And it was a disaster. Only beat Gibraltar, and then the one before that wasn't great either. So, we're in a very bad place. We're in a very, very bad place at the moment, and hopefully he's the man to get us out of that. Graham Farrell, bet he can't wait to sink his teeth into the job. Oh Christ, Graham, we're battling for the prize of crap jokes. El Pablo, surely the fact he's never too long without a job is a good sign. Yeah, I think he's a diligent coach, Martin, isn't he? He seems like a very diligent, straightforward coach. And, to be fair, we've said that. We've said that in past episodes, is that these boys just need a bit of direction. And I don't think they haven't had it, have they? They just need someone who can set them up and organize them.
Yeah. And that's exactly it. And you got to remember, though, some of the most admired coaches and managers in football, Jose Mourinho, for example, Jurgen Klopp. I'm not going to compare this guy to them, of course, but they didn't have the most overwhelming, fantastic football careers themselves. He seems to be of that kind of generation, but he's worked his way up, and you've got to admire that. He's done it off his own back. And he's got to the very top of international football to some extent. And, now he's taken the biggest job in these islands.
Yeah. Gareth Southgate's got nothing on us. Nuri, how you doing, Nuri? Previously, I thought O'Shea would get it because he was the cheapest hire. Now I cynically think it's Hallgrímsson because the FAI found an even cheaper option. Maybe. But that's where we're at, unfortunately. And that is the fault of the FAI because of financial mismanagement over the last few years. John Buckley, I'm sure many people in Ireland were saying, who? Yeah, I was at first. I had to put in Wikipedia, and he does have a decent record. Like, what I will say, guys, watching this, he is a diligent coach. He's not terrible, and he could be exactly what we need. And then it could be a complete disaster. Pat the Baker, welcome, Heimir. Looking forward to a fresh start. Raymond McInerney. Was Klinsmann not approached? Don't think he was, Mark, was he? Is that
not heard anything on that? But all I would say is, Klinsmann would have been like Trapp. It would have been coming for wanting big money, brilliant profile, in for the short term. Whereas I'm hoping this guy is going to be as part of this. I know I keep going on about this pathway, and that's the thing that the risk is associated with. This guy's coming in, and he's very much in mind with what the FAI want to put in development through all the ages and that working towards that basically. So that's where I think Heimir fits in.
100%. Sorry. West Coaster, unwhelmed at first, but now optimistic. HH is a good fit for where we are now. He took an unfancy team to 2 tournaments, worked with championship level players, good communicator, and decent human being. Stephen Ring, is Dave on again celebrating? Well, Guinness 0, Steve. I had 1 can left. I was actually, I stayed up till 5 a.m. Watching the UK election, Martin. And my Guinness there, I was very happy to see the Tories voted out. That's all I'm going to say about that. Try not to make it too political, but I was very pleased. 8 years. Feels like we had an acid trip for 8 years. And we're kind of waking up from a hangover. But anyway, Pat the Baker says again, welcome, Heimir. Looking forward to a fresh start, says Pat the Baker. Like a fresh loaf of bread in the morning. Have you ever had Pat the Baker bread, Martin?
Yeah, of course I have, yeah.
I haven't. You've never had a Pat the Baker in your life.
Bet
you haven't even had King Crisps, have you?
No, Tato.
But you never had a King Crisp? Oh, yeah, the yellow
tato. I have had the King's Crisp.
Yeah, yellow tato, perhaps, with the crap Northern Ireland version of it.
No. These things, Jesus. And snacks? Is it snack bar?
Snack bar, Cadbury's, yes. Very good.
Jesus, Dave. I've been to Ireland. I go to Ireland a lot. I've got a family live in Ireland.
Don't know about that.
Jesus.
Danny Thomas James Spratt. He's got 4 flags. Nope, me neither. Paul Brown, anyone know what he's like? Football style discipline or good crack discipline, Paul? That's good.
Whatever that means in football terms.
Yeah. Steve Staunton, eh? No, I think he's very disciplined, very defensive. I think he works at what he's got, and I think he'll, as Martin said earlier on, he'll make it very hard to beat. He did say in his interview today, it is on Kieran Crowley's, the FAI communications director, friend of the pod, and also on the FAI Twitter. There's an interview there, about a 6-minute interview. And he talks about, I like to go back to basics. We've gone from possession-based football, as he said, under Stephen Kenny, to a more pragmatic style. I'm paraphrasing there, of course, under John O'Shea. Back to basics, I believe, is what he said. And he likes to do that. So I expect just a very simple style of football. And when you're at international level, you can't overcomplicate it. You really can't, because you don't have enough talented players. Anyway, Jason Gu O'Donovan, because Arsene Wenger managed at international level, a response to a comment saying that this could be our Arsene Wenger moment. Aaron Aries, how you doing, Aaron? Very underwhelming and definitely wasn't in our top 4 to 5 candidates. But let's get behind him now in September and beyond. Absolutely, Aaron. Look, at the end of the day, we got to get behind this guy. He is our manager. We got to see what he can give us. England first game, could be European champions. We need to give this guy a chance. Let's get behind him. Paul Brown. Best of luck to him. Thankfully, the search is over.
Powell Brown. Back there.
Paul Brown. I'm in full flow. I haven't done this for a while. I haven't done it for about a month, so shut up. Mark Fitzpatrick, is Nick feeling smug after calling it? I'm sure he is. He was posting enough about it. Aaron Aries, it's also €25 for a plate of fish and chips in Reykjavik. Hashtag fact. I've never been. I really want to go to Iceland. And see. It's the only. Well, no, I mean it's not part of the Scandinavia, but I've been to. Have you been to all of Scandinavia, Martin?
No.
There you go.
Landed in Iceland. No, I didn't.
Well, Iceland is in Scandinavia. Have you been to Denmark?
Yes.
Yes, I met you in Denmark for the first time. Norway. Sweden.
Yep.
What's Scandinavia, is it?
Yeah, it is then, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
So you have. So you like
Finland is.
It's Finland, Scandinavia. I'm going there in October. You going there in October?
Yeah.
Going there in October. See you in October.
Yeah. Have I been to Iceland? I don't know. I think I have been to Iceland. Yeah.
Moving on. What, the shopping centre with Kerry Katona?
Oh.
Adam T. Adam T. Very important to get behind the manager, even if you're underwhelmed. At least give him a chance. 100%, Adam. 100%, and we will. We will. We will here in this podcast. We absolutely will. Ed M. How you doing, M? Ed M. That's throw me off. He'll have us defensively organised, but it won't be pretty to watch. I think people will take that, Ed, for the moment, and then until they start playing again, which will inevitably happen.
Just a quick point. I mean, he did mention as well today, like I've often said about the legacy of Stephen Kenny, is a lot of our squad, him coming in to manage now, they've got lots of caps behind them. They're very experienced from very young. So if he can get them organised and say, look, these are little fine kind of margin tweaks we can do, that's what I'm looking forward to seeing. And he kind of referenced that today. So that's something I think is going to be interesting. And I'm more positive about it the more I think about it.
Oh, Jesus, you'd be bursting at the seams on Friday. Kenny Del Hunt, we can't make judgment until we see how we play under him. Yeah, probably England isn't a good start either. Nurik, the Heimir Republic, which Graham Farr really appreciates there. Ed M. Heimir, right Irelandson. Oh, Jesus. My head's going to explode. Too many names going on here. David Redmond. I struggle with the Irish names, never mind the Icelandic ones. Underwhelming, but every Irish fan will get behind the team supporting the new manager. Mark Canham, and the process of how we got here is embarrassing. He should have gone with Hill. Strong words from David Redmond, and he will have a lot of explaining to do tomorrow, David. And I hope he does. I hope he gets grilled by the press. And there's nothing personal against Mark Canham. I've never met the man, but I'm still a little bit salty over the way I felt we were kind of led up the garden path a little bit this year. And he has to explain himself. You got to be open. You serve the public. You got to be open. He's a civil servant without the label. Anyway. Reed McLaughlin, best we can hope for is what we go back to. Sorry, the best we can hope for is that we go back to winning the games. We should win and getting the big result here or there against the big teams. He has shown he has done that at least a little bit. And you know what, Reed, I do agree there. We've got a good side. We've got the makings of a very good, well, not a very good side, but a good side, a growing side with tons of potential. And I do believe, we're an attractive option. Graham Farrell, Jamaica have only got a great chance though, because Canada, USA, and Mexico all already qualify as the hosted, so they've only really Honduras and Panama to contend with. That was to qualify for the World Cup, I presume. Keane Greeley, how you doing, Keane? If we approached him in January, then we tapped him up as he has a contract until 2026. We would owe compensation to the Jamaican FA. Good point. He did resign, didn't he, after Copa America, after poor Copa America? So I agree. West Coaster.
That's the key thing on that, though. If he's resigned, then that's him ending his contract. He's not entitled to the.
But I'd imagine be on more money with the FAI.
Jesus, it would be like us now, innit? We owe them bloody loads of money.
Like sports directed. Yeah. West Coaster. Great New York Times article on HH from 2018. He liked to meet up with hundreds of fans in a pub before games, reveal his team sheet, and discuss tactics. I'm not making this up. Do you know what? If he's like that West Coaster in Ireland, we're going to love him. We're going to absolutely love him.
He's going to fucking hate us.
He's going to hate us.
He'll never get out to the pub.
No.
But you know what? He might have, we want him in the pub. We want him hearing from the fans. I hope he listens to this as well and gets involved with the fan culture of Ireland. And I think he hopefully listens to, the calls of Irish supporters. We want the players to start singing the anthem. I think that's important. I think I want him to buy into the Irish culture and understand it. And I think he has done that in previous jobs, apparently. He seemed to buy into kind of the Jamaica kind of the lifestyle, understanding the players who are representing their country. We need him to understand that as well. That would be my only thing with, the backroom staff. He's going to have to get that right. And I know there's a bit of speculation to coming along and who do we think might be eligible or potential candidates for that. But, we do, to come in, you can't just bring in your own backroom staff. He's got to have Irish in there as well. And that's going to be a key thing. Again, I'd like to see Canham ask tomorrow to say, right, who in your pathway or view the future. If the guy walks out the door to a bigger job tomorrow, well, he won't be tomorrow, will it? But if he does down 6 months down the line, is all his backroom staff, or we're back in square one? Or do we have Irish people in the job or people that can come in?
Good question. I think we'll have a nice mix. I think he'll probably have one. Like he'll probably have his right hand man. Maybe an Icelandic lad or whoever he
Sven,
has.
like Sven used to do with England. Who was
Yeah.
it? Tord Grip.
Yeah.
Who used to play the trumpet and stuff. Yeah, we not heard them stories. Yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, be something like that, and then he'll have most of the backroom staff. A bit like Tardelli, really, wasn't it? With Trapp, like you always have your right hand man that you bring with you.
Yeah,
like was Martin O'Neill's John Robertson, wasn't he? And then he got ill. Was it John Robertson? And then Keane got in there as well. So yeah, no, I hear you. And yes, hopefully it is an Irish backroom staff, and you have somebody there to groom to take over when he does go. Yeah. But it'd be interesting to see if he makes them sing the national anthem. But I think he will be quite studious of Irish culture. I think he'll be one of those. I think he'll embrace the culture. I think he'll embrace the nation, and I think he'll look at certain things. And I think he will ingratiate his way with the Irish people, and I think he'll do well. His English is perfect. That was obviously an issue with Trapp. His English wasn't great. There was lots of miscommunications, and that caused a lot of issues. You won't have that with this guy. He seems like a
Manuela. He brought Manuela.
Yeah, yes, he did.
We should have a minute's silence just to remember
what the carnage that Trapattoni caused. But anyway, we'll move it on. Blue and gold. Would you take Ireland going to the World Cup, but England win the Euros? For me, yeah, I wouldn't have an issue with that.
Doubt. Yeah.
England winning the Euros for me. Blue and gold doesn't bother me. I've lived here for 13 years. I'm pretty much numb to it. Jason English, at least the players' teeth will look great. Okay. Sebastian Olton, how you doing, Sebastian? Heimer's an interesting character. I don't like some of the negativity going around. He's had success in small nations with limited resources and has punched above their weight class. Plus, we'll have the shiniest smiles in all of football. Welcome, Heimer. There you go. Is there something about his teeth I'm missing here, lads? Am I... No? Okay. Kevin O, if England win the Euros...
It's a dentist, isn't it? It's a dentist.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry, guys. Yeah, sorry. I've had a day today. I've almost been knocked down twice. True story at work, arsehole. Yeah, he did.
He's not been getting all these dentist puns.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. I've had a bit of a day. Yeah, fair enough. That's on me. Kevin, if England win the Euros, do we have to give them a guard of honour onto the pitch in September? Declan Rice would love that. Could you imagine? No, that's just...
Don't worry, the place will be half empty. Irish fans go in late anyway, so they won't have to see it. Normally.
But
a reason to stay out. Or a reason to bring back tennis balls and launch them at him.
That's going to be interesting, man. I'll tell you that. Well, it depends what time it's going to be at, but God Save the King. First time God Save the King played at Lansdowne Road for a football match.
Yeah.
Ooh. Kenny Delahunt, I'm happy with the appointment. Good man, Kenny. Shane, lads, he's backed Mason Greenwood and tried to get him to convert to Jamaica. Red flag considering the week the FAI have just had. Of course, we're talking about the abuse there. Well, I don't know, Shane. Is that before the allegations came out against Mason Greenwood or afterwards?
I think he's. My understanding of that is kind of since, and that Mason Greenwood kind of out of the kind of the high profile of Man United, for example, and away, and he has done a big recruitment drive of bringing in players who are eligible to granny rulers for Jamaica. So I wouldn't, I think one thing to be very clear on with that, there's other people's jobs, not just a manager to find and recruit players who are eligible. It's not necessarily the manager going around looking at ancestry.com to see who is eligible. That's done by people in the background. It certainly is with Ireland. Our manager's not coming now and looking for, he done this and he sounds like he's got an Irish name. That's not how it works. It then becomes a pool of players that you can pick from. Then he has to consider, is he available? Do I pick him? But it should really come from the association in that situation. I think.
He will do a Charlton in terms of he will turn the granny rule up to 11, which is good. No harm in that. So obviously the Mason Greenwood thing, that's a whole. I don't know about that. That's a whole different ball game, and not a very unsavory character there. Graham Farrell. I genuinely let me start again. I genuinely hope it works out for him, but it's a genuinely weird appointment. I'll give him the backing and see how he gets on. But when I got sent a message today, I was like, that has to be bullshit. I was a little bit too. And then, well, because John Fallon, that's when I saw it. It's like, oh, and I went on to it. And then it's like, I saw the name, went, okay, there you go. And then all of a sudden, Martin, you sent the video, the FEI video, went, okay, yeah, there you go. Apparently, they only flew him in, didn't they? Today at like 1 o'clock.
Very late. And to be fair, Matty Turnbull and Kieran have done a good job getting out the announcement and the videos and things. I like seeing that. I think it's obviously engagement with the fans, and that's your first announcement. If you don't have that, you just have a name and you have people not understand them. I think it's important that you do hear from the manager on the first day when you announce him. So even if it is in that kind of concept.
Fair. Ryan Kelly, I'm backing Heimir. He has a tough run of first games. A lot of managers would have shied away when they have England as their first match in Dublin. Back him, give him time. Optimistic that this could go well. Yeah, look, we got to be patient. We got to give him time. I think, though, England's a free swing, to be honest with you, Ryan. And I think, to be honest, I see what you're saying, but I think it's a free swing. They'll turn around and say, well, you gave him no time. I think this Nations League is a free swing. If we get relegated from this Nations League, I think it's a free swing as well. Finland are notoriously tough. Greece, gave us a hiding last time, last year, and England could be the European champions. And if we get relegated, it wouldn't be the end of the world, Martin, really would it? Because we probably have a better chance of qualifying for the next Euros.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
in Group C. Glenn Forbes, the FAI promised a big name manager, and in fairness, that surname has a lot of letters. Ryan Kelly, going to the match September, lads. Hopefully meet you both before the game. Absolutely, Ryan. Say hello. We will be around as always. Our Raw faithful. We do love you guys. Actually, make it what it is. Mark Tangny. Sorry, Mark, if I'm butchering that, I do apologize. I mean, I think if you've been watching the podcast long enough, that is my gimmick. I butcher names. Not like Martin, though, but as a Donegal. I think he could be good. Brian Barry Murphy could be a good shout for his number 2. Brian Barry Murphy did step down as Manchester City coach, didn't he? Youth coach after winning the Youth Cup. Did he win? Or he won something?
He did, yeah. He won something.
He's won a thing, Mark. And now he could be making his way to Ireland. But we'll see. He could be the guy next in line to take over from Heimir. Who knows? But we'll see tomorrow. I've no idea who his team is, unless as we're live and the press tends to get released, don't they? The stories for tomorrow's paper at about 11 o'clock. So we'll see. We'll see tomorrow, and we'll talk about it Friday. Fran Glancy, how you doing, Fran? On paper, and only time will tell, but a solid appointment. Has demonstrated an ability to bring limited squads to major tournaments. Ticks a lot of both FAI and fan requirements, and within budget. Kevin O, happy 40 to the club. Great achievement. Hopefully the glory days will come back. Good man, Kevin.
Thank you.
Kim Michelle was shocked to get an FEI email to say only 10,000 tickets left for our up and coming matches. Had a laugh, as never heard of an England-Ireland match not being sold out. Must be a first. True. Shane, there will be no fucking thunderclaps on 114. Good boy. Great, Farrell. Happy birthday to the Risk. Marto, 40 years though, would be 84, not 94.
Did I not say 84?
Oh dear, Martin, you're
back. I'll listen back, and if you do want to listen back, you can get this on audio, can't we, Dave?
Yes, if you.
Thanks for that little link.
Thank you, Graham. Yeah, nice little segue there. Take a little break. Yes, you can catch us. You can listen to it. It will be released tonight, pretty much when we get off air. I will put them up as quick as I can. Spotify, Google, I think Apple as well, wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, there will be another version of this released later on the YouTube channel as well. If you want to have a little listen back, and please hit the subscribe button. Scan that QR code, head over to Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter, and also head over to lansdowne.ie. Great article there about the new manager coming in from James Agnew over at lansdowne.ie. The lads do some fantastic work over there. So yeah, get involved. Right, moving on. Reed McLaughlin. If you read the article regarding his comment on Mason Greenwood, it just sounds like he was simply giving him the benefit of the doubt. Nothing more than that. Blue and gold, Martin Rice, Dave Rice. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Very good.
Oh God. Yeah, I'm going to be getting a bit of abuse tomorrow. John Buckley, he got Iceland to the 2018 World Cup. They topped the qualifying group, which included Croatia, Ukraine, and Turkey. This guy might actually be a very good appointment. Yes, I didn't want to give out too many details about him, John, because James, who gave me the notes for his article, he very James knows his stuff, and very, very well educated in terms of football. James Agnew, give him a read over there on the website, and yeah, he gave me tons of information. I didn't want to add it all in because obviously it's a slideshow, and he's got an article to write. But yeah, I mean, they got to the playoffs. They lost to Croatia. As well, he's got big results. Got a big result against England as well, 2016. Remember that infamous clip, Martin, of what's his name?
Steve McLaren.
Steve McLaren as well. Finished second. They finished second in a group which contained Portugal, Hungary, and Austria. They famously defeated England 2-1 in the second round before being eliminated by France in the quarterfinals. We could have actually played Iceland in the quarterfinals. We had got through. So yeah, they've beaten a lot of teams. Sorry, I was having a look for a bit more information there. Probably shouldn't have, but there you go. It is live, folks. It's what we do. Nuri Nurik, I would not like to see England win Euro 2024. If they do you doubt the streets of London will be overflowing with beer cans and urine? That just sounds like a Saturday night in Covent Garden,
exactly.
mate.
No more than usual. Jesus.
When's the last time you went to London, mate?
Yeah.
I've been working in central London for God knows how many years, and trust me, it wouldn't make a difference. At least be a Sunday, all the bars would be closed.
Contained. Yeah, it would be contained.
Be contained. Wouldn't be the same shit show we had 3 years ago. This is also, Martin, England's third major final, the first one on foreign soil.
That's it. Yeah, history making.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was
history
mad to see, really. And a lot of the fans were over there. It's just pure jealousy. I'm looking on and I'm thinking, I wish we were there. And
fighting with the Dutch, the Serbs.
Yeah, I mean that was interesting, wasn't it? Jesus, I mean,
the Dutch fans attacked the England fans.
Yeah.
For once,
and it didn't seem to not that I would be promoting violence, but I did see that video and I thought that the RAF from England shot them down and all that kind of stuff happened, didn't it? And they didn't seem to fight back at all. Not that I'm encouraging that, but still
controversial. Well, Martin, that's the privilege you get when you win 2 world wars, isn't it? You can sing what you like in the continent.
Sing it.
That's what he likes to do.
Flat screens. There was 2 flat screens went there. I was very sad to see them go.
I suppose you didn't somehow get them. Will John O'Shea and Paddy McCarthy be part of the backroom team? Asks Kevin. We will find out tomorrow, Kevin, and we will talk about it on Friday when we have all the information. We're going to watch the press conference tomorrow, 2 p.m. From Lansdowne Road, and we will, the stadium that is, not the page, and we will watch that and we will have a chat about it on Friday. We'll go back to our regular programming there. Blue and gold, GAA not selling out 80k stadium. 3 games at Lansdowne won't get 30k in the 3 games. Weak argument there. Martin, weak argument. You GAA hater.
No, not far from a GAA hater, but
I'm the GAA hater.
No, I would question. They're semi-finals of the All Ireland, aren't they? And they can't sell it out. That's got to be a question of GAA on the ticketing price in there. And that was the big high-profile thing for the weekend, and everyone was chatting about it, how great the games were, and if they can't sell that, like a lot of people I've seen as well on Twitter saying how fantastic it was. Roy Keane spoke about it on the overlap, and I'll be honest, the kind of whole profile of hurling. I'm a big hurling fan, but just it's not out there enough. And I think the GAA do want to kind of keep it a little bit internal. They don't want it spread around the world. They don't want teams from other countries really competing in it, which is I can understand that, of course, right? But London do and New York and things, but I don't really get the argument. Like we want to sell out our football stadium, of course we do. The packaging is not right, but we are in a austerity crisis as well. I think the FAI have got it massively wrong on the ticketing. Don't get me wrong on that, but at the same time, the GAA have also priced that wrong, that they can't sell out their 2 biggest semi-finals.
You couldn't get. I remember you couldn't get a GAA semi-final for love nor money. I remember I've been to 1 GAA match. Bit of GAA. I remember I vowed I would only go once Rule 42 was relaxed, and it was, and I went to the Leinster final, which Dublin won convincingly. I can't remember who it was, but I have been to a GA match. I am Irish to a degree, Martin. Yeah, I mean, I've no interest in it, to be fair. But I just think the GA are quite insular, and it's amazing. Like, they went with Sky and have exclusive games on Sky, and if they've made, I think that
and now they're on BBC. They're on the BBC now. That's the thing. The
they've always been on BBC. Channel 4 used to show them as well.
Yeah. But like, they're making a big thing of BBC. Like Darragh O'Brien was covering it. I mean, last year they pulled out Paul Mescal and Patrick Kilty. So they are trying to get it TV interest on it without doubt. And let's not forget the All Irelands and all those games are on the weekend. Semi-finals and the final on the weekend, they can't sell it out. We're trying to sell a 3-game package, and 2 of them are midweek games.
In a midweek, yeah. And
one's an early kickoff on a Saturday. So, it's travel as well. If they make that 2:00 kickoff, that's an early start. I spoke about it today about the 10,000 tickets that they've got left. Right? It's easy. They're really alienating that 3-game package is alienating people who've got to take off work around the country to be able to get to the games because there's no infrastructure of transport. We've spoken about this before, but and the FAI, I'll be honest, the argument from them was, but if you can go to the England game and that's the one you really want, you could give the tickets somewhere else. Like, why have you got to do that? Put the infrastructure in place. Put coaches. We've got to deal with Air Coach, like as one of our principal sponsors. You put Air Coaches and you run them up as special coaches to Cork and Limerick or wherever.
You make it accessible as possible. You do it.
Yeah, that's it. You do that part of a deal. But they don't do that.
Part of your ticket. Like, this is where the FAI need to sit down with fans and go, right, what is the major issue for you? How do we get as many people into that stadium from around the country? When you live in Donegal, good friend of mine, friend of the pod as well, lives in Donegal. There's no train service. He's relying on buses, and it's a big ask. The FAI should be running buses. I was shocked, right? I remember back in 2009, I think it was, when we played in Thomond Park, Australia. I think we got beaten 3-0, and I couldn't get back. I couldn't go to it. It was the first Ireland game I'd missed in years in Dublin. I missed one I'd missed one. Yeah, it was the first one I'd missed in Ireland for about 5 years because I couldn't get back. I was like, that's ridiculous. How can you? And I said, do you not have like a travel coach? Oh, no. And the woman in the FAI went, no, we don't do that. And my response to that was, do you not think you should? Like, that makes no sense to me. And I should work both ways. Transport in Ireland isn't great anyway if you don't have a car. And they need to sit down and work with the fans on this. Engage with the fans. Talk to the fans. Get them into the ground. What gets you into the ground more? What can we do for... There's a lot of... that's an amazing thing I find. There's a lot of educated people that are Ireland fans. They have jobs. They work in marketing. You know what I mean? They work in these sort of things. They work in events. They come from all different backgrounds. And you should be sitting there. You could get that information. You could get that expertise for free because of the passion they have for the game. And they should be picking those brains. That's my take on that anyway. Graham Farrell, I've lived in Scotland 7 going on 8 years, have a Scottish missus, Scottish mates, wouldn't be supporting them, but would rather them win than Anglo-Saxons in the south. They're half German anyway. I mean, with the Irish, I think we got everything in us. Jason English, did Heimir manage the ice on Blanchardstown? Wow. And they're all coming in, all the crap jokes coming out tonight. David, hello David. There's another David. How is Smodix going to be utilised in a new manager's system, since he mostly uses 4-4-2, and are Casey McAteer and Tom Cannon just going to be super subs for the future, or future they have talent to start in the future? I think we would. Well, look, I know the manager uses 4-4-2. We probably won't use 4-4-2 with these players, or maybe I'm sure Martin he'll.
Everyone will get a chance. Of course they will.
Yeah, I mean,
player, it doesn't matter that you. Smolix just doesn't. A good player will play in any formation. That's where they're gonna and what they do, and in attacking, and when they do it when they're defending and stuff. To break it down very simply,
I think he'll work with what he's got. He'll work with what he's got, and I don't think he'd be. I'd like to think he's smarter than just to kind of go, I play 4-4-2. That's all I'm going to play. I think he's got. I think he'll look at what he's got. He'll be pragmatic with it, and then hopefully, there's enough there. As I said, there's enough there in that team to play good attack of football against teams around our sort of area. And then, there's enough there, I think, then to close up shop and squeeze a result against the bigger teams.
Yeah.
There's
Like
enough
we did
there.
years ago, but we do have players now. These players are very good technically now than they were
Yeah,
years ago.
some very good technical
and,
players
and,
there.
and you've got to utilise them the right way.
Yeah. So we'll have to see. I mean, we don't know what he's going to do. We don't even know his backroom staff are, but we'll talk about that on Friday. Graham Farrell. Yeah, he's a name as a player.
This is about
Not
John
manager.
O'Shea. This is me saying John O'Shea's profile in comparison to Hyder's. Yeah, he is. But again, like look at Vera Powell when she came in as the women's manager. We looked at her CV and it was brilliant, really. And we thought, Jesus, how do we get Vera Powell? And I think most people are questioning. Everyone kind of knew Vera Powell. If you read into it quickly, Vera Powell, you think, wow, she's managed here. This guy, you are searching for a CV and you're going, okay, Iceland, that's fine. But after that, there's not an awful lot in it. But and look, against the general public, when the paper, if you put John O'Shea Ireland manager, everyone will know John O'Shea in Ireland. They won't know this guy. And that's my point on the profile.
That's going to change, Martin. They'll all
Yeah.
know
I hope
about
it does change. Yeah, exactly. Well, a lot of people wouldn't have known necessarily Trapattoni in certain circles, in a sense. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. Time-wise, yeah. From a different generation.
Yeah. That was it. Generation.
Yeah. No, I get it. Rory McLaughlin. And by the way, before people go that I knew who Trapattoni, yes, but we mean like younger fans, because all his success, most of his success came in the 80s, didn't it? He was that generation, and of course he sort of went a little bit to obscurity in the Austrian league, didn't he? I think we got him from Red Bull.
Red Bull, yeah.
Yeah.
He managed Liam. He managed Liam in Italy, didn't he?
He did. Great manager in the 70s and 80s. Won everything in the 70s and 80s. Kind of went through a dodgy time in the 90s. Bit of a renaissance in the 2000s. Of course, he was national manager for a while, Trapattoni. And then he went to RB...
Leipzig.
Leipzig's Germany. Yeah, Red Bull Salzburg?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, why not? Rory McLaughlin. At first, I was surprised, but on reflection, he has international experience. Just happy we finally have a manager. Need to get behind him and the players now. Good stuff, Rory. Absolutely. Rory McLaughlin, we don't need a name. We just need results. Of course, those aren't exclusive, but hopefully he'll be a breath of fresh air in a sense. Being hard to beat would be great with where we are now. Jim Bear, how you doing, Jim? Nice show as always, lads. Thank you very much, Jim. Great day for us Irish-American fans. Ireland has a new manager, and United States national team finally fired a terrible manager, Greg Berhalter. Didn't they turn down Jesse Marsh, Jim? I could be wrong on that one. And did he take over Canada? I read somewhere. I mean, I don't follow the US national team. But yeah, no, good stuff for you, Jim. Yeah, good day here. New manager. Tories out. Very happy with that. And
just quickly, I just want to come back to the point on do we need a name? I think we do need a name from a commercial perspective, but I'm actually happy the FAI haven't jumped in and gone, let's bring Roy Keane in and let's sell loads of tickets, because undoubtedly they would have sold these extra 10,000 tickets if they appointed the big name. So I like the fact they haven't done that. I'm going to give them credit for that, but because it's not a commercially minded decision to do it. They could have done that easy thing and said, let's do that. Let's bring in Roy Keane box office and give him these few games. But they are actually thinking, no, we're actually doing the future now. And all right, they've left it late. We know they have. They're going to be questioned again, of course, on that tomorrow or the timeframes. But, I like it that this guy is in mind with the pathway and what they want to do. But
you love your pathway, Martin. You love a pathway, don't you? Jesus
I've
Christ.
So
are you Mark Canham, are you?
The years. I have read so many pathway books over the years of Ireland have done it. And
are you Mark Canham in disguise? You sound like him. Are you gonna rip off your mask and it's gonna be Mark Canham under there, like an episode of Scooby Doo? Jesus, you've changed your tune. Have they got to you, Martin? Is that what this is? Have they got to you?
No, not necessarily, but I just
they offered you more tickets,
and I think Jesus, yeah.
So I'm messing with you, Martin. That's what we do. It's late at night and we're getting funky-ish. Sunderland, is that SUFC? Sheffield United FC? Is that Sunderland FC? I think I've asked this question before and I can't remember. I think it's Sheffield United. Or is it South? No, we'll see what he says. Don't see how we're moving forward. Hallgrímsson played the same football at Jamaica that Kenny and Jono played for over 3 years. Yeah, but he'll do better, we hope. Well, we don't really know what he's done because we're hearing he's going to play 4-4-2. We're hearing now he's going to play similar, 5-3-2 or whatever. We'll just see. We'll see with the press conference tomorrow. I'm sure he'll be asked about first of all, we'll know the backroom staff. I hope it might be announced actually before the press conference. Then they'll talk a bit about that, and then he'll probably talk about what style of football he wants to play. He'll be asked about these things. Reed McLaughlin, Shane. Oh, that's
on
but
the-
yeah, we're gonna avoid
we
that
are
one.
skipping some of the stuff on Greenwood. We've got to kind of be careful on that. Just to be honest.
Graham Farrell, wonder how he's going to give us more bite in midfield and less toothless in attack. This works out. You reckon the FPI will give him a plaque? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Next one. I like this.
Look, Rory says, looking likely he will play a 4-4-2 formation. Jesus Christ. Johnny McQueen. I think this is a brilliant appointment. JM job was a good effort under tough conditions. Jamaican job was good effort under tough conditions. His qualification campaign for 2018 World Cup was a monumental achievement. Yeah, just on the Jamaican thing, I don't know too much about it. We were chatting away to the nerds, as Eamon Dunphy would call them, in the Roar Writers group, and they love this guy. They think he is, he's a very good appointment. But they also said that Jamaica was a basket case. Apparently, certain players won't play for certain matches, a lot of discontentment. But the whole thing is a bit of a basket case. So I think he was trying to herd a bag of cats. Herd a bag of cats, or yeah. Have you ever tried to herd a bag of cats, Martin?
No.
It's tough. It's not easy. So yeah, it was very. It wasn't a great, as mad as Irish football's been. We're not that bad. We're not that bad at all. And we have the defenders, and Ferguson and Smollix could be a nice. We have the defenders, and Ferguson and Smollix could be a nice pairing up front to play his football. It's not like we have a Ronnie Whelan type in midfield, but that would allow us to play more attractive. Not yet. We have a couple of players coming through, a couple of very technically able players coming through, but I think just need to get the basics right, get a plan in place, see what happens to the Nations League. I'm giving him a first swing, Martin, in the Nations League. He's had no time to prepare. He's got.
He's got that. Yeah, and that's the problem. We could be down this route again in a year's time. We could easily be doing this again.
Absolutely. Yeah. Graham Farrell, King Salt and Vinegar, Tato Cheese and Onion. Also a notable mention to Mega Meanies, Chicken Fillet Rolls, and Club Rock Shandy. Yeah. I mean, Martin, you wouldn't know what we're talking about here. Sidona. Chicken fillet rolls, phenomenal. Especially when you go to Wrights in Dublin Airport. I make myself hungry now. Golden Crisp. Yeah.
Tiffin.
Look at you. Proper little coach you are, Martin, aren't you? Right down there in the south, eh? Now we have Golden Crisp in the pail because we have class.
Mint Crisp is good.
Mint Crisp is good now. I will give you that.
Yeah.
Hunky Dories. Oh, Jesus. Salt and vinegar. Your lips turn white. White, Mark. You're brilliant. Stephen Ring. Any words of backroom team, or will it be announced tomorrow? Tomorrow, I don't know, Stephen. I'd imagine it will be announced tomorrow, but we don't actually know. Francis on Kunky Bar. Probably butcher that again. I've seen Martin in Ireland many times with his Tato crisps. Either way, it's risk London fans will back the new manager, says Frank. Yeah, of course. I think all the fans have to. Give the guy a chance. Give him a free swing with the Nations League and see where we are after that. William Hewitt, Jamaica did have to qualify for the Copa America. Thank you. They qualified 21st November. The Nations League double as qualifying, but still it doesn't line up with March contractual obligations timeline. Thank you, William. I was trying to have a quick look at that before when we're talking there. I didn't get a chance. Bit of a weird day. That's what I want to talk about there, Martin, very quickly. So, yeah. Because I looked at it there and I saw they played the last match in March, but it looked like that they wrapped up qualification November 2023, and I wasn't sure which way that was, so I didn't want to comment on it at the time. So that doesn't line up with anything that Mark Canham is saying there.
No, it doesn't. No, but look, the question is going to be asked tomorrow, and what we do know about some of our your colleagues, Dave, your mates in the media, is that they will ask the question.
We'll get them,
and we'll get them.
We will, yeah, and I think I'd like to think that maybe he'll probably turn around and say, no, when we didn't get what we wanted in the first process, but then the second one, he was the first name, the second one, boom, we got it. Now, I'm sure that's how he'll try.
We spoke to lots of candidates for the job, and it was a job high in demand. There was lots of people interested in it, but we always had Heimir very much at the forefront of our plans.
Gee,
And
little
that's why we went
smoothie.
with them. There you
Little
go.
Smitty. Look
There's
at
your
you,
answer.
little
Copy
PR
that.
man. Fucking
He
PR
is.
man over there. Francis, Tater crisps. Proper tater, though. None of that naughty stuff. Dublin Tato. The ones that actually invented the cheese and onion crisp. I always thought they were British invention. But yeah, it came from Dublin. Tater crisps invented the cheese and onion crisp, Martin. But you didn't know that, did you? No, you
I
did.
have been to Tato Park. Do
I
you remember the
haven't.
chocolate bar? Cheese and onion flavored chocolate bar.
No.
They brought out a couple of years ago.
No.
Cheese and onion flavored chocolate bar.
No, it just wouldn't work for me. Nah. Graham Farrell, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, and Denmark are Scandinavia. Finland is the Balkans. And Nurek says Finland is Baltics, not Balkans. And then Graham says, yeah, it's cold, but it's in the Balkans. And that's I'm sure Nurek. He does, and I'm sure Nurek is doing his head in. Are you sure that's 0-0? Very much so, Graham, and it's bloody lovely. I can't drink too much of it. It's a bit of a gateway drink. I started to drink it the way I used to when it wasn't 0-0. Raymond McInerney, Barnes, Blissett got to play for England. No granny rule. That's true, yeah. Born in Jamaica, yeah. Sebastian Knowlton, and in the day that Greg Berhalter became available. Don't know what that's about.
America manager.
Must be about America. Stephen Ring, as soon as I saw or I seen Heimer's name, I knew listening today pronounce it would be like pulling teeth. Oh, Jesus. It's a good one, actually, to be fair. Jimmy Shell, Barry Murphy won FA Youth Cup final for Man City versus Leeds. Thank you, Jimmy. See, I love that. That's the thing. We don't come on here and pretend we know everything. We try to do our homework. We try to do research as best we can, but we don't try to bullshit you. And you guys out there, you're a very learned audience, and we love it when you get involved and you answer a question. So thank you for that. We really do enjoy that. Niall Sullivan, an experienced international manager who achieved great things with a poor-ish team. Good appointment, in my opinion. Got a feel for John O'Shea, though. Ryan Farrell, Roy Hodgson was England manager, not McLaren. That is on about my 2016 comment. No, I know that. What I'm talking about was Steve McLaren was on. If you haven't seen it, yeah, on Sky Sports, check it out. It's absolute gold.
He was basically commentating, wasn't he, in the studio and saying there's Iceland off a no threat here, England are going to score, and then he goes, "Oh, yeah, well worth it. We'll share it on our socials."
Well, yeah, no, Sky don't like me sharing this stuff, Martin. Let's just saying. Then McGuinness. So what happens if we lose the first 3 to 4 games in a match and March and June win those? And he's only contracted until our interest in World Cup 2016 ends. What then? Then we go back to square one, and the pathway, and the Martin, and the Cannons, and all that stuff. Neil Fenton, if HH are achieved with a country of 300k people and got them to a quarterfinal of a major tournament, what's the ceiling he can overachieve with Ireland? Very true. Very true. Better players, I'd imagine, individually. Dave McGuinness, I'm not wholeheartedly against his appointment, but I don't see the point in a 2-campaign contract when realistically 2028 is a huge target for us. He's well-regarded coach after all, and after the World Cup, he could walk, and we are at square one again. Interesting. What is his contract? It's a 4-year contract?
Well, it's till we're out. You're World Cup 26, I think, isn't it? No. He's only contracted until an interest in World Cup 26 ends. So, yeah, I mean, we'll find out that tomorrow a little bit more as well. Of course, I'll go into it because 2028 is obviously on home soil. And we should be qualifying for that.
This is what they've said. Former Iceland Jamaican manager will lead team for UEFA Nations League and FIFA World Cup 2026 campaigns. So we'll see. Yeah, I never even. Sorry, folks. I've had a really weird day.
Then we get an Irish man in to lead us to 2028.
Yeah,
to win it on home soil. Although it won't be in.
No,
final.
Yeah, no. Talk is rich. All right, lads, love the pod. I'd be curious to know what style of play he will implement. Will he progress with positive passing, or will he go back to a more solid, restrictive style of play? Talk is rich. Thank you very much. Welcome to the pod. I'm not sure if you've been on this before. It's been so long since we've done a live one, but every Wednesday now we're going to be live. As many Wednesdays as we possibly can. I reckon the latter. I think it'll be more restrictive style of play. and then he'll probably take it from there, to be honest. Stephen Ring, if you break down the ticket costs individually, it's not terrible, but asking fans to shell out for the three of them in the one go is a bit much, especially when the cheaper options always sell first, which normally these are just the premium levels. Agree there. We did go through the price, Martin. They're good value, but it's the cost. We have a cost of living crisis in Ireland.
They're good value, but they also had to be. They were kind of benchmarked against the season ticket price, so they couldn't be excessively. They had to work out as part of that deal as well. So lots of you had a calculator. I think you had your toes out and everything trying to do the maths on it, Dave. I think you still got it wrong.
That was on the outtakes.
Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Martin. Yeah,
we record that again.
No. Yeah, we had to do that again. I got it completely wrong. I think, was that a late night? No, it was an early morning. Sometimes I'm doing this and I'm not at my best. And I got it absolutely horribly wrong. But that's on the outtake, so that'll never see the light of day. Thank you very much. Graham Farrell, is that not only for the BBC Ulster Championship that it's on BBC? I think they show the All Ireland as well, don't they, on BBC? Yeah. I watched Dublin win the last one on BBC. I think I bored, so switching over to crack. Reid McLaughlin, quick thoughts on Alan Brown and other player moves. Alan Brown apparently going to Sunderland. We did touch on this in a few other episodes. Strange one. I think John Egan going to Nottingham Forest, I believe, is a free agent. Alan Brown turned down a record deal, didn't he, as well? So, but apparently going to Sunderland. So I imagine it's just going to offer more money, Martin. Is it?
Yeah, good move for him. He's got to get the payday, I suppose, and been there. And I've spoken the last one about, he probably wants to push himself with a team he thinks is going to be with, fighting for promotion rather than Preston, maybe not aligned with where he thinks they should be or what they're doing. He's given it enough time, I think, there as captain as well. So goes with it, their best wishes, of course. Adam Eder, probably close to getting Celtic sorted. Bit of talk, isn't there, about Troy Parrott coming obviously back with Tottenham, but they're going to look to sell him. And different players are moving, so it's going to be interesting because we need these players now to be playing. I wouldn't be surprised to see anyone come in for Schmodix. That could be a move because he could get a bit of game time playing somewhere else, and test himself at a higher level. And then we obviously had speculation Jacob Ryan, but I see he's back in training with Leon today or last few days. So
he is, yeah. Apparently, I saw he's going to go for about 40 million or something, or 34 million. Anyway, Rob, we're going to lash through the last few, approaching 2,500 viewers, by the way. Thank you very much watching us live. Amazing. We're past midnight on a Thursday morning. It's brilliant stuff. We're going to crack on with the last few comments. We're going to get out of here. Dave McGuinness, have taken their fan base for granted for decades, and the cost of coming to Dublin for a game is too much. And the moving of the calendar in the middle of the summer when everyone is on holiday is stupid. They deserve it. Insular Neanderthal Association. Now we're talking. The sport is only of interest to the masses for the business and is the All Ireland. The league games barely register and attendance. Yeah, it's always amazing. Like when Dublin used to sell out Croke Park, but could barely fill Parnell Park in the league games. I mean, I'm not a gam man. I don't hide that at all. And then Dave McGuinness, I want a results-based manager, but a 2-campaign player, the cracks. Manager does nothing to fix what's wrong. I don't expect to see him in the AUL watching under 16s. But apparently he cares very much about all aspects of Irish football. That was one of the things that Canham said. He takes an interest in every aspect, every age group. So we'll see what happens. But I do get what you're saying, that you probably want a more long-term contract. Dave McGuinness again. Give it a season. John O'Shea, he was a great player, but has no credentials to be manager of a national side. Shane Brown, delighted with the appointment. Did a good job with Jamaica over here in a shit show setup. We'll get behind him. Are you in Jamaica, Shane? Good man. But yeah, it was a basket case over there, to be fair. So it wouldn't be too harsh on him with Jamaica, but did quite well in the qualifiers. Dave McGuinness, give it a rest about John O'Shea, Martin. He was a great player. He has no credentials to be Ireland manager as of yet. Stop your bitching. He's for the future. Behind him every step of the way, but looking forward to the manager hunt 12 months from now. Graham Farrell, yeah, that's a fair point about O'Shea, Martin. I genuinely think this could be a decent appointment. He could make you hard to beat and good on the counter and devise a system that works. Dave McGuinness wants to go back in his 12-month prediction. He says 12 to 18 months. Maybe it was a bit hasty. You are on about more pathways than Oz, Martin, whatever that means. Is that the yellow brick road? Is it what we're talking about? Dave McGuinness says there's no pathway with this manager choice. Shane Brown got Jamaica punching well above their weight in CONCACAF. Irish Jedi, the FEI did stick to the profile of manager as much as the process. Sorry, the FEI did stick to the profile of manager as much as the process, and it's been embarrassing. I think that's what he's trying to say. Steve Fontana, great to get this regular appointment, not just for a filling. Jesus Christ. Irish Jedi, their backroom team in international setups counts for a lot. Will be interested to see who is involved. That will be tomorrow, we hope. Graham Farrell, yeah. I writes in Dublin Airport. Me misses first chicken fillet roll there with me. Remember the old Cadet cream American soda? I couldn't drink the Cadet American soda, but I remember soda, but I remember the cola because it was the only one I could afford as a kid. M&H, great show, lads. Heimir had zero control of affairs at Jamaica. It was their corrupt FA's job to recruit Greenwood, not his. All he did was praise Greenwood's footballing ability, not a big deal. Free Steos only. Whatever that means, says Dave McGuinness. Irish Jedi, Carsey to Sagnol, to Poye, to Heimir. As bad as it looks, 8 months, and giving it to an O'Shea or Robbie Keane job for the boys would be worse. At least there was a clear profile of target. Graham Farrell, Tato Park. Was that before it got burnt to a crisp? Also, yeah, I remember them bars. Jesus.
Yeah.
And Graham Farrell, yes, on the McLaren video, he remembers it. It was quite funny. Irish Jedi, John O'Shea should go manage in-club football, and his job could be easily available in 18 months again. And then McGuinness, just to clear up on the Heimir situation, his contract is until our interest in 2016 World Cup ends. That's why I have an issue with it. Evan Hayes says, give us a management qualification group and Heimir will get us there. Dave McGuinness.
He's going in again now. He doesn't like Stephen Kenny for some reason. But go
on. We appointed that donkey with a 4-year campaign view, and for whatever sins we committed in the previous life, we stuck with it. Why aren't we doing that now? Seems like a plaster over the cracks appointment with absolutely no forward plan. That's probably why they're not doing it again, because it was a complete disaster on a Kenny. Graham Farrell didn't either sign a new 4-year deal at Norwich, and I believe AZ Alkmaar are trying to get Parrott on the cheap. Possibly. Darren, how you doing, Darren? Hi, lads. I actually think it's a good appointment. What could we have expected, really? We were never getting a big name. Let's be real. He's a proper amount of international experience. Also announcing it today to take the heat off the FPI. I was thinking about that. I mean, got to be very careful what we say here, because it's a very sensitive issue. I was thinking about that. It was an interesting appointment, but I don't think they'd be that cynical, would they? To the whole debut scandal coming out, that they would do that.
No, I don't think so. No, Jesus, it'd be ridiculous if they did. I mean, look, that's a question to be maybe asked. And again, David Carell will be there tomorrow, and they probably will talk a little bit more about that.
They're not shying away from it, the FDI, to be fair.
They're not, no. And I know he done a press conference he done the statement, didn't he, outside the front of the FDI the other day. But
yeah,
it's a testing time for the interim CEO, and he's got to get it right. And there's a lot of other stuff going on in the background, obviously, with these ticket sales. We've got to remember all of the RTE fantastic kind of show on a very hard hitting issues, of course. It's overshadowing the fact that Ireland women are playing on Friday against England in a Nations League. It's going to be a real tough test for them as well. But yeah, all this is going on at the same time, and I've always questioned with the FAI how they kind of handle these kind of things. Like they're a business, they're an association. They should be able to do that multitasking. Instead, it just goes from one to the other to the other. So this is now, it will overshadow it, but I think there should be more transparency within the association. That okay, what's happening with this, and then it just seems to kind of overshadow even the women playing now. And this has happened, and whereas you should be celebrating all these little things or dealing with all these issues and having a bit of leadership out there. I think that's the real test for it. And also asking the question, even on the tickets, right? You've just announced to our fan base, we've got 10, we're not going to sell out the Lansdowne Road. Why aren't we? And what are your contingency plans? Like, are you just going to accept that commercially, that they're not going to sell 10,000 tickets? Or are they going to turn around and go, we're actually going to have to go back on this deal, but they're going to have to run it at a loss, because they've got to equate that and calculate the free game ticket thing for the England game to make as much money as possible, because the other games are just not going to sell anyway. So you might as well just say, right, whatever the deal is, they've got to maybe reevaluate that, but do it that it doesn't piss off and antagonize the people who have committed to the free game package already. But I think that's a question that should be asked, because I think it's a damning, it's indictment of the FAI that they failed commercially on this. That there's 10,000 tickets for a game,
for an England game,
the highest profile game in our group.
That is the absolute number one game for Ireland fans.
Yeah.
England at home. Very excited about the appointment, says Cantona's Cats. A clean slate and a young enough manager. USA 26 and Euro 28 generally feels slightly more possible now. I think he'll bring excitement to the Aviva. Yes, David Gittes. Irish potatoes equal free potatoes. Northern potatoes equal honey dories. Christ. Cantona's Cat. Sorry to ask, but is Nick still around? Haven't seen him in a while. Missed his thoughts on Portugal's Euro journey. Nick is back with the Green Machine, and we wish him absolutely nothing but the very best. It's all good, but we're just doing
some
our
great
own
posts as well. Like, did some fantastic posts, and brilliant insight. We have been digging him out on. I think he has got a half and half Portugal Ireland shirt. Is that right? I think he posted that today to us.
Yes.
But no, all good, and offers some great insight on the Green Machine page, especially on like players coming through and things like that. So, doing very well with it. No,
fair play to him, and we wish him absolutely nothing but the best. Dave McGuinness, don't underestimate the FAI's desire and ability to defect. Darren says, I wonder will he appoint his own backroom team? I hope he does. Hope we become harder to beat at home and have a fighting chance in every game like the old times. If we go down fighting. Stephen Ring, expecting Cannon to try and skirt around all the questions about Heimir's contractual obligations. We better brace ourselves. I think they'll go from Graham Farrell. Haven't seen the documentary, but I have heard they've dealt with it quickly and have open investigations into, which is good. But the joke of selling the tickets in blocks of 3 is madness. We're going to leave it there, folks. Thank you very much. Just past midnight, 20 minutes past midnight. Over 2,500 people watching us. Fantastic support as always. Thank you so much. I miss doing the lives. Martin's missed doing the lives. We're going to be back doing them every Wednesday. We'll try to do as many Wednesdays as possible. Sometimes we might not be able to do it. Real life gets in the way. But we are back doing the lives every Wednesday, 10:30. Wednesday, we're going to be live. Of course, Monday and Friday, we should have other episodes out. Martin, we've enjoyed it, haven't we?
Loved it. We've got some fantastic insight tonight. Very fantastic involvement. 2,500 people viewing it. I would put it out there to you all. We've got less than 1,000 subscribers. We've done the numbers. We've looked at the stats. We've had the analysis done from, is it Prozone? And 2,500 does not transfer into the subscribers we've got of the show. So you need to subscribe, please. It does help us. Might not help you, but it does help us with lots of things that we're doing in the background and plans we have for the show and for the pod going forward. Yeah. So some big games coming up following Ireland, following Heimir.
Following Heimir.
Following Ireland. And, we want to just make sure that we're with you and the voice of the fans, and it will enable us
100%.
to kind of do that.
100%. Yeah. Basically, we kind of what we were doing, we weren't able to deliver the show we wanted to deliver last was. So we brought it back a bit, Martin. We sort of started a little bit again from scratch. We relayed the foundations, and now we're kind of moving forward, and we're bit by bit, we've got the regular programming in. Now we're doing the lives again. We're going to start doing a retro program as well. And we're going to get back into more stuff that we absolutely love going forward. We're going to all the games this year. And we've got so many fantastic plans. So do please give us a subscribe on YouTube. We're trying to grow the channel. And just any sort of support you can give us would be fantastic. But listen, brilliant stuff.
And on our Facebook page as well, I've been raiding the memorabilia boxes, as I did the other day when I shared my photos from a disposable camera for when I went to the Faroe Islands in 2005 and met the greatest Irish footballer ever, Roy Keane. Even though you can't tell it's him in the photo. But look, I'll be doing lots more of that as well, because I've been told to clear out loads of crap I've got, although I call it Irish memorabilia. And And we will be posting a lot more of that kind of stuff as well, because we've got great interaction to that little story of my travels with Risk London, who celebrate. Well, we're actually 40 years old today.
Happy
Just gone, so I'll
birthday
get the
to
mention in
you.
there again. But yeah, look, lots of stories from and do go back and listen to some of the other shows we did. We're going to do a lot more of the nostalgia stuff as well going forward.
Yes.
We know you all travel to games as well, and you have your stories. I think that's one of the best things about following Ireland is everyone has their stories and their experiences. And one of the things I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but Risk London, sometimes I've been at games before in a pub, and we're going off to the game and going, come on, let's head now. And you honestly feel sometimes that it's a bit of a distraction going to watch the football because everyone is just like a family over 40 years of, just watching together and having the crack and different stories and different experiences. So yeah, we're quite keen for the nostalgia stuff. We like doing that, Dave. And you're so knowledgeable, Dave. You know the obscure stuff. You find the videos, when, what boots John Aldridge wore when he scored against Turkey or whatever. So that's the kind of stuff you bring to it.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah, I've got the videos of it.
Fascination.
I'm not even going to get started on that, son. No, absolutely. But we're going to be doing more retro stuff and loads of stuff going forward anyway. So yeah, thank you for your support. We're going to leave it there. Thank you so much. We will be back on Friday. We're going to talk about on the next episode. We will be talking about the press conference tomorrow, 2 p.m. Did I say 2 p.m.?
Yep.
2 p.m. tomorrow. We're going to be talking about it on Friday, so do tune in. And wherever you get your podcasts from, we also got the YouTube channel. Please give the YouTube channel a subscribe. It really does help. And head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter. Right, we're out of here. I'm David Dunn. He is Martin Prendergast, the wonderful, delightful Martin Prendergast. And do you know what? I've actually It's been such a wonderful time. I actually forgot to upload the outro. Some things never change, Martin, did they?
No,
they never do. But anyway, it's waiting for that to upload there. It's going up there, it's still processing. Come on, Martin. They'll never notice.
No.
Oh God. I've got this high-speed internet as well, PlusNet. Jesus, never use them. They're so crap. Anyway, we'll try it again.
Oh, you are finishing. Okay.
I'm finishing now. I'm David Dunn. He's Martin Prendergast. Martin Prendergast. This is Lansdowne North. Thank you so much. We'll see you on Friday. Good night. God bless. And come on, you boys in green. And come on, Heimir. Go on the Heimir.